Hi, today I'm going to show you how to embroider on a baseball. Okay, so let's get started. I'll show you the supplies you need. Okay, so first you're going to need a baseball. So these, it's 2, 4, 6, so 10 or 12. It's a 12 pack. I ordered these off Amazon. They're leather. You can probably get them elsewhere, I'm sure. And they look just like this. And I ordered also off Amazon these baseball holders. They're pretty cool. Put the baseball in it. It's a display case. Okay, so you're going to need a hoop. Now you can do them one by one, or you can do both at the same time. So your hoop that you use would depend on if you're going to do one or two. So you're also going to need some stabilizer. For this I used cutaway. You can use tearaway, you can use mesh, whatever. You will need waxed thread. And again, I got this off Amazon. Actually, I got my stabilizer off Amazon too. Yes, I'm an Amazon shopper. You will need scissors. I like these ones for it because they're small, they're curved, they're my applique scissors. They're good for going around because we're going to need to cut the stitches off these balls. You will need some push pins because once we've taken them apart, when we're ready to get back together, we're going to hold them in place with a push pin while we're stitching them back. You'll need a pen because before you pull it all off, you're going to mark which one goes with where, and you're going to mark a line all the way around so you know where to put it back. You are going to need tape. Any kind of tape will do because you're going to be taping your flaps onto your stabilizer to embroider. Yeah, you'll need an embroidery machine. You will need two nice where's my other one? Large eye pens. And you'll need a computer to do your digitizing on. And I said the embroidery machine right to embroider it on. Oh, and patience. You're going to need a lot of patience. Because not that these are hard, just very time consuming and tedious for some of the parts. So, now that you know what you need and you've gathered it all up, let's go to the computer and I'll show you the program that I use and what to do. So here's the program I did it on. This is Janome MBX Digitizer. So if you can see right here, this is the picture outline. That's the picture that I scanned into my computer of the flap, brought it into my program. So then my first stitch outline, you can see I knew where to stitch it out because I went right around. And then I just copied that, made another one. And then you can see you can put your name and your stats inside. I'm going to turn that off now. And then you've got your two flaps done. So then you save that, whatever program you're using, but you save it onto your memory stick and take it to your embroidery machine. So I've already done that and I've got it set up in my machine. So I could either save this as, so I don't know if you can see, oh, it's too high, oopsie, So I can save it to whatever type of machine I'm using. If I was using my Janome machine, I would save it as JEF. But since I'm using my Ricoma, I'm saving it as a DST file. Okay, so I already have that all saved and loaded up, so we'll go back out to the machine and go from there. Okay, so here we are at the machine. I have my hoop put on. I've made sure I have lots of bobbin thread because I don't want to have to change it out. I have my colors set. What else? I have my machine set up at auto manual, so it will automatically change colors, but manually it will stop after each color because I'm going to need to pull it out. So here, we'll get this started. That's better. So it's stitching out the outline for the first one. Now it's going to stitch out the outline for the second one. Okay, so now, oh, I should shut that. Okay, so now I'm going to pull it off the machine and I'm going to tape my flaps down. So there's what it's going to look like. Alright, so I'll meet you back over at the table and we'll tape those flaps down. Okay, so here we are back at the table. I've laid my first one right down inside of the outline and I am taping it down. So that's why we do those stitches, so that we can put our flaps in right where they belong, so that we know the stitching is going to be where it's supposed to be. So try and keep your tape to the outer edge. Doesn't want to stay down. Because you really don't want to stitch over top of it. If you do by accident, no big deal. So we're going to do that with both of them. So here's my second one. I'm just going to lay it down and I'm going to tape it. And then we'll go back to the machine and we'll let it stitch out. So when it's done, you're going to have them both taped on like this. All right? Piece coming up. That's okay. So now I'm just going to push the start. So again, doesn't matter what machine you're using. If you just have a single needle machine, like my Janome MC12000, that's just a single needle machine. I can do it on there just as easily. If you have a Brother PE800, you can do it on there. Depending on the hoop, you may only be able to do one at a time. I love this hoop. This is my 8x9 Magna hoop, and I can fit both of them on it at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to let this stitch out. And then we'll come back to the next step. Okay, so we're all stitched out. So now, we're going to take all the tape off. Alright, so once the tape is off, we're going to pull them off. Actually, let's take it out of the hoop. Okay, so there's the back. Now, because I used cutaway, I'm going to have to cut it off. Okay, so we've got one off. Cut in close to my stitches. Obviously, if you used tearaway, it would have been a lot easier because you could just rip it off. Okay. So now we have our two flaps. So now you want to take your waxed thread. You want to get a nice long piece. I wrapped it around my ball about, I'd say 20 times. Probably way too much, but at least I know I'm going to have enough. I'm not going to run out, because you don't want to run out. So you thread the needles on each end. So you have one long piece threaded on each end. So you get that ready. So now you take your ball. Alright, so this one is marked. Here's my B. And there's my B, so I'm going to line it up. I'm going to wrap it around. So I'm going to, in the little holes, I'm going to take my push pin and I'm going to hold it in to the ball. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. You got to really pull. Okay, now I'm going to take my other piece. So there's my C at this end. There's my C here. So I'm just going to put that down, put a push pin in, hold it in. Going to pull this one around nice and tight. Keep it going along the lines. So this is the one, oops, where I marked my little marks of where I want them to join up. So I'm going to make sure they're right by each other. And I'm going to put a push pin in. So I'm going to put a few more in here and there, just so it'll hold on while I'm stitching it. Right now I'm not worrying about if the lines are exact until I get going. Okay, so then you're going to have this. So now you're going to take your threaded needles. Now, all this has been the simple part. Now, it's not hard, but here's your tedious, time-consuming part. So, where did my marks go? Here's my marks. So I'm going to go underneath and come up through the one hole. And I'm going to take my other one. I'm going to go underneath and come up through the hole that I've got marked. Pull all my thread through. Okay. So see that? Coming up through the holes. Now, to do the stitching, you're going to take your right hand side, you're going to go into the next hole. You're going to take your left one underneath your needle and up through the next hole. Can you see that? And then you're going to pull. Stuck around a push pin. Okay. And that's what you're going to do all the way around. So your right hand side goes up into the next hole. Your left hand side goes underneath that first needle and then up through the next hole and then pull. Like I said, this is the time-consuming, tedious part. Now, you can pull nice and tight so that it pulls right together. And what I do is I pull as tight as I can, but you can't do perfect. So once I get a little ways, I go back through with the needle and pull them up and tighten them, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. Okay, so I've gotten a little bit of ways around. Still a long way to go. So, okay. See how it's pretty loose? It's too much of a pain for me to try and do it as I'm going. So, I get so far around, and I'll have to do this a few times. So you take your needle, you go back into your stitches, take the end and pull it in to tighten it up. And then you just keep doing that so they all stay nice and pulled together.
That's pretty much instantly. You can't even make instant rice instantly. The name implies that it should only take instant when in fact it takes 5 minutes, which is arguably several more instants than
Your bank can be qualified for a mortgage in 60 seconds?
Yeah. Why did you
See, and just keep going around, pulling them nice and tight as you go. Now, like I said, you can either do it, pull them nice and tight as you're doing them. Some people find that easier. I don't. I find they always loosen up, never joins up properly. So I go quite a ways, then I'll go back and tighten it. And then once I've gotten all the way around, I'll do it again. I'll just go back and tighten them all again until they're all tight and nice and pulled together all the way around. Okay, so I'm going to go and try and finish this up and come back at the end. Okay, so I've got my stitching all done all the way around. I've gone back through, I've pulled them all in nice and tight. So now, oh, I already did this one. Okay, so I'm taking the last stitch, I went through and under. So the one from this side. Okay, so I'm just going to go under, go up into the next one that's already there. Pulling nice and tight, so now it's finished off. Nice and tight. So now I'm just going to do that again. Go over under this one. I just want them to be nice and sturdy and not come out. Gonna take this one. So I'm just gonna go like, go under, go up a couple. I'm gonna just do it like this, kind of like it's knotting itself. Just do that a couple times with each string. Okay, I'm not going to do that with this one. Go up a couple. Bring it down. Okay, so now I'm going to cut my ends off. And my embroidered baseball is finished. It's a really great novelty gift. And let's see, let's get it put in here. There, it's in the nice little case. That'd be great when there's a new baby that's born, especially to people who love baseball, or to a grandpa that's into sports for the new baby. Some people have put the baby's name and love grandpa and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a great gift. Okay, so any questions, shoot them to me. You need any more detailed help with this video, let me know.